Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, everybody. Hopefully you're having a lovely time wherever you're at in the world. I have a build that I have cooked up for you guys. This build is probably, this build is insane. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to go over the stats real quick, show you what a T30, a danger level 30 boss looks like, because this boss, I did a plagued pestilence boss that was an echo knight, and I walked through it. It was insane. But I wanted to show you guys the stats real quick because, and these things are kind of evolving still, so don't, like this is, you can go with this and it works, but I'm still trying to find out where I can finagle extra armor, my resistances, not all my gear is totally exalted, I'm still like testing stats out, but I found something that kind of works. So with that being said, I'm going to move my head down a little bit so you guys can see that that's equip load. But as you can see, we have 0 investment into health, but we have 1100 hit points. This is without being in the Crucible, where you could get percentages to focus gain that would boost your health, because that's why our health is boosted. But as you can see, I mean, we're not good on resistances or armor. We could definitely get those up. We've got 33 poise, things like that. Like, we're not doing too bad. But as far as it goes, like we're in the heavyweight class, but we're just 1% off of our equip load being just over to encumbersome. So that way we can have a roll and other things like that, and we can run. Sprinting is important, just for movement. Walking everywhere fucking sucks. But the main thing is, and I want to show the gear here, we have a stat stick sword that is giving us lifesteal, damage increase while we're at full focus, and we should usually always be at full focus. Stamina recovery, health, gain health on kill and focus on kill. Like, there, I could probably go with the blue sword and get some better stats on here, but the 30% increased damage at full focus. Now, I think this applies. I'm still trying to understand how damage goes into actually like calculating the build's damage, because I don't know if it's your weapon damage. So like, will I do more if I exalt this and get it up to 15 and then technically 16 with the exalt, or 16 and excuse me 17 with the exalt, right? Because when you exalt things, it gives it another level essentially on the weapon or item for whatever reason. But also like this bugged out and is not exalted, so we're not getting the most out of this as we would for like the armor and stuff. But let's go over the gear real quick. So we've got max focus as a gem, healing, item durability increased, and max focus for a raw 40% increase of max focus just from this. Some of these stats I'm still like, I'm not sure if damage taken decreased doesn't, because technically you're not taking any damage while blocking, and that's what this whole build does. You just block and you just obliterate stuff. Now you have to, you can just only block if you want. Sometimes it'll be a little bit slower if you don't just like weave in some attacks in there. We literally don't have any runes or anything in our sword, so it is what it is. But like, I don't know how powerful the regen in combat is, so I'm trying that out, giving it a little look-see here. But I mean, the item weight decreased is allowing us to stay under encumbered, but also allow us to put more points into focus. So if a lot of these other pieces of gear don't need like some of these stats on it, like I don't need max stamina increased to max focus, I could take that off and put on item weight reduction, right? So that way we get another 10% off, or like 15% off these pants, which knocks another like 8% off, or 8 pounds or whatever. So like, the more weight you can knock off, the more points you can take out of equip load and put it into focus and boost your health up even more. So if you want to test around with that, the stat allocation that we have here, right? 10, 10, 42 for strength to be able to use our shield. If you somehow come across a Falstad's barricade that is level like 10 strength required, and then just level that up, you're so up, because then you can put all of your friggin' strength into focus, and then just level up a level 1 sword from the ground up, and then use it, so that way you have 10 focus stats at the bottom, and then you can basically have 90 focus. And I could see this build potentially getting over about 2,000 hit points if you were able to like min-max it. As of right now, I just wanted to show you guys this. I might take it to the extremes, but like, this is a very easy thing to get. Falstad's barricade is just the lucky part, because it does the most block damage, and you get focus gain when you get hit with the shield, so you don't have to parry or do anything like that. But you could corrupt the shield or find a corrupted plague shield that does, I think, 15 damage, or I think it's only 15%. So you can get it to do some, but you could also get like damage modifiers that don't, like, you can get it, or excuse me, you can get 20% damage on block, but then you can also increase your damage by 20% after you block. So there's definitely a difference between how much damage you return, and I'm still trying to figure out all the math on it to make it make sense. But let me showcase this to you, and we'll see how this goes, because this thing is absolutely just scary. Like I'm gonna poise up here real quick. We take 7 damage, but then I can just run in here and then just put myself right in front of Tusk and just stand here. He's gonna hit us, hopefully. Yep, we don't take any damage, and he just a level 30 boss just hit us and took that much damage. And it's just I'm just holding my shield up. We're just chilling. Yeah, good job, Tusk. Good job, buddy. But as you can see, like, we are taking some damage and all that jazz. Ooh. Oh, I'm actually curious. Can we eat this? So if I... Okay, yeah, so that's actually insane. So if you don't target lock this fight and you turn into those waves, you'll still hurt Tusk because the damage mitigates from the, whatchamacallit, from, what's his nuts? From the, but as you can see, you need to focus the blocks and everything like that, but our sword's doing like null damage almost. We're purely here just to get hit by Tusk. Hey, buddy. And I was trying to take the angle of whatchamacallit, but when we kill things we get 10% of our life. But we're trying to, like, we can hit him all we want. This dude, let him teleport around, let him smack you, who cares? He does this, guess what? Boom, thorns damage, and I don't take a single hit to my life, or at least if I do, it's 21 damage out of 1100 life, right? So like, where am I out here? I mean, you can weave in some attacks if you want, but you don't have to at all. Just make sure you're blocking the whole time. Now, the one thing that I am invested into, like, trying to figure out is whatchamacallit, the stagger resistance increase, but that means wearing all blue gear. So you would be down a couple of plague, or not plague stats, but the plagued bonuses that you could get with stuff. As long as you always face those shields, you will take the least amount of damage, and yeah, just let him just let them kill themselves. This is how crazy this is. I am just blocking. I'm not doing anything else. And it's auto locked, so he's gonna just keep hitting himself, and boom, done. Level 30 boss died just like that. Now, did I one-shot it? No, but my life barely moved, like, at all. So I'm gonna do this, and hopefully this is gonna auto cut straight to a Crucible night. I want to show you guys what it looks like when you go to the Crucible, but this is just a showcase, so that way you can do this if you want. I will do a gear cover at the end just to make sure we cover it all, but I will see you guys again when we are in the Crucible, so I'll show you what that looks like as well. BRB. All right, so we should be back, and now we're at the Crucible night. So to showcase the both of them, this is I want to also show you the powers that we got. So we got a little bit of damage dealt, focus gain increased, but we take damage when we use focus. Well, we barely use it anyways, and we get it back, and that damage is almost null, so it's not bad. But damage decreased. I still not entirely sure if we so damage taken decreased does not account for the damage you take while blocking. Your damage is decreased while blocking by your armor, I believe. So if this is like for the oh shit moment where you get knocked down because your stagger bar is too full or whatever, right? So this is why it's nice. This is why we have it all rolled on our gear. Is it entirely necessary? No, but it is there, so it's just like, why not use it, right? So damage increase for air echoes, health on staggering or killing an enemy. Since the staggering, so if an enemy hits you and they stagger themselves, you do not get anything that procs that. So if you get something really close to staggering, you have to hit it, shield charge it, whatever, to try and get that extra fucking stagger on them to knock them down, because then you'll get that life leech and all that jazz from it. But damage reduction, enemies deal less damage, and a max focus. Max focus is what you want when you're doing these, because as you can see, we now have 1210 hit points. The more that you invest into focus for these runs, 5%, 10%, whatever increases to focus you can get will boost your life, because we're using this ring, right? So you swap your max health and max focus bonuses and all that jazz. That's why our focus is really high invested outside of our strength and weight load, right? So and then we get our extra stamina. I'll cover, I guess I'll cover it now while we're talking about it. Well, No, I'll do the fight first, then we'll go over the gear and all that jazz. Again, just that way I cover it. But this is the Crucible Night fight. I'm gonna do some toys here, I think. Let's do this real fast. Oh no, I've been hurt. Whatever will I do? And we just chill. Look at that stagger build up. 1, 2, do it again. But now we're back at full focus where we're taking less damage. And this is where like he's gonna hit and probably stagger himself. Yeah, so now you can just like charge hit if you want. And I'm thinking it might be better to invest into charge hitting when it comes to this boss, or just in general for the weapons and stuff. You get more damage when you charge hit. Maybe might be something to invest into, but I don't know. You can literally just stand here and eat this, especially when he does the I'm curious to see how we handle the whatchamacallums now. If he does the whatchamacallums, if he does the plagued circles on the ground, I hope he does it soon, but he might just keep doing this shit. If he does, then cool, whatever. But you can just stand here if you want. You don't have to melee him. But as I said before, like, okay, like right here. So he's gonna do this, just stand in this. If you can hold your shield and stand in it, he will just continuously hurt himself, and it will stack up even more per dot that you stand in. Just know that it will hurt you a little bit more, but you can do that. As soon as he's dead, just fucking jump out and hold your shield. Now you can choose to heal here if you want, but if you also let him fucking be a clown ass, he'll mostly just hit your friggin' shield. But if he can stagger himself, then it's always best, of course, but the less damage you take, the better. But again, if you can get the stagger off on him, then you will get your life back and stuff. We just got 148 life back right there, right? And then you can channel more into him if you want to for extra damage. But you essentially can just sit here and bully him, right? I don't care that you're yelling, rawr. I will note that the the plague damage does do some peepers to you, so be careful about that. But yeah, so like right there, as you can see, he staggered himself, and we didn't get any of the bonus from that. So staggering on life, all that jazz, it doesn't matter. But again, we have so much life. I'm literally pretty much just holding this down. You can choose to, if you want to go out of your way, hit him so he staggers, right? It is not necessary to do this fight at all. I'm just doing it because, look, I get my life back, and now I'll let him hit me to kill me just so I can really sell my point home, right? But like, if you get anything as far as like stagger on your gear, because that was one thing that I built into a stagger. But then I realized that you have to hit people, so it really just depends on your playstyle. If you want to get their stagger bar built up and then hit people, and then let them or get close to staggering and then you hit them, and you're okay doing this pretty big thorns with a little slappage, totally do that. Like there's literally nothing stopping you. The other thing that I was thinking about is you do get lifesteal if you decide to attack. So while the lifesteal in this isn't horrible, I think putting physical damage into these would be the best thing that you could do, because the physical damage that you get from your gloves does boost the damage that you deal on block and everything like that. And I need to understand if damage on block goes based off of your weapon damage. So if that's the case, you want a 16 weapon that's exalted at ASAP for this, because then it makes your damage on block deal more, all of that jazz, right? Like, it'll still do 25%, but that 25% will now be 3 levels higher when it's 16 and then exalted, right, at 17. So but for the sword, I mean, we've got damage increased at full focus, which I do believe does affect it. I tried multiple different tests of like hitting somebody when I had no focus and hitting somebody when we definitely got to full focus, and I definitely seen, I mean, it was a small increase, but it was still an increase in damage regardless. But every time one singular enemy dies, we get 10% of our life, which is easily over 100 life, and based off of all the other like on heals, like healing increase based off durability. And this alone, the healing based is 45%, because the durability on this item is 300. And then we just have a raw max focus. So again, 40% focus just from this helm that you cannot get on a purple. That's why it's blue. But then it mixed with this, which swaps your health and max focus, why we have also invested into focus, and also have a max focus increase by 50%. These 2 rings essentially, and like I feel like these 3 rings are entirely necessary for this build if you want to achieve this high of life. And like I said, if you can find lower tier items of these that you can scale up to 16 and call it a day, so because like if you find this base above a 9, it's gonna have a 42 requirement. But if you find this item at a, like if we went to the blacksmith and bought a 1 and leveled it up to 16, it would still have a 10 strength requirement, but it would still scale all the way with strength. So we could, if we didn't want to, and I've got to test this to see how exactly it would work, because I don't know if you take all of the damage away from strength and just have 10/10 items, that you would entirely get like this to do a lot of damage on block, because I'm not entirely sure. Either way though, even if you can't remove the strength and put it into focus and get 90 plus focus, right, to bolster your life, 1100 life is more than enough to literally face tank everything in the game. And if you get knocked down, eat a piece of food if you really need to. Other than that though, like, you don't need to. Like, this build is insane. So I would highly recommend, if you want to do this, it's a really simple thing to do. But it literally just holds your shield up. Damage on block is the only stat that rolls there, because everywhere else it's these are the only 2 stats of damage on block I had, because I couldn't get damage on block anywhere else. The only other ones were like damage taken decreased for this or whatever. Like, I'm even planning on changing the max stamina, max focus out, because we don't really need it. The damage after sprinting, like, there are a bunch of stats on here that I'm like, maybe I could do without that. Maybe. Like, focus gain probably could get rid of. But like on some of these items, it kind of boils down to like, well, shit, man. And I don't know if the damage taken also, because when you have your shield up, this stat doesn't proc, because your shield takes damage. Not your shield, you get like block damage, not damage taken. So like when we had damage taken on our chest, it wasn't like doubly adding multiple different stats, at least what it felt like. It didn't seem like, oh, your numbers got adjusted by 20 damage or whatever, because you took some damage through your shield, which was actually 5 damage. So realistically, you did like no damage to the person, right? 5% of 5 is like a friggin' non-existent number, right? So it's just like, congratulations, you don't see the number of the thing that you just hit, but yeah, you did something. The main things to focus on here are the gems and where they're placed. And again, if you want to, like, you don't have to do lifesteal in this, but if you choose to hit with this weapon and then you do charged attacks, which I would probably be invested on, like maybe chaining focus on kill out for some sort of like charged attack thing, maybe. And maybe changing the damage increased at full focus for charged attacks, because if you're gonna do those to keep building stagger, or just like, because if you hold your shield up and just hit and let go and instantly hit X or square, whatever you're using for controller, you do a really quick just like basic attack if you come out of shield and hit square. Like it's like a jab down kind of, like, if you, it's almost immediate too, like it's like a jab into it. It's like a scoop kind of. But you get a really quick swing there, and then you can go into your 3-hit combo and then do your charged attacks if you so choose to, right? But the stagger buildup on this is absolutely insane. Your survivability is insane. Just don't take negatives that drain your focus or your life, and you're pretty friggin' square. So that is a quick tutorial on this build. It is a showcase to show you how it works, but I call this the Titan. You deal so much damage, and I will try it out with different pieces of gear, like, is Falstad's really that good? Because technically it's not exalted, and it is a great shield, and it does the most damage that you can get on block at once. But I don't like, the focus is nice to get on block, but do I really need it all that much? Like, yeah, it's nice to cast some things. So if you're going to use an ability here or there, like, because Thorns doesn't work in terms of shield damage, it only works based off the damage you take, so that's kind of annoying. But poise shield does help you, so it's like you get this double dip of kind of things, because like when let me do this real quick where we poise. But if you poise shield and then look at the stats, we go from 33 poise to 50 poise. So now I think I'm at poise cap, which we shouldn't be poised out of anything. So if you do want to use that for like going into the fight, you never spend any focus the entire time, and you decide to use a little bit there, you're pretty much fine. And then you also have really high focus gain that you rolled on your gear. So if you really choose to like want like focus gain increase based off durability, and 20% is actually technically more, because it's 20% based off of 150 instead of 100 or 75 or anything else, because plate has the most durability on it. So you don't want to roll indestructible on anything that is anything that's plate, especially when you can get up to 300 durability on blue items, and that's why that healing is increased by 45%. So the 10% heal that we would get on kill is technically like I mean, it's 45 plus... If you do health on parry, you get that as well. But like all of these things, like you don't like pretty much the only thing that matters is this friggin' shield and this helm and these 2 rings. The other things are accentuary, but like this Mondo damage, get it exalted. That's 25 raw damage on block, which is good. And it feeds right into this. That's 50 damage on block. So like you get a lot that you can do into it, and then you can go for your damage reductions. I would highly recommend, if you can, on all of these, roll the item weight down, because if you can take a couple of points out of equip load, then you can absolutely make this character even more tanky than they already are. You can make the 1100 life probably go up to like 12 if not 1300 before it starts scaling with everything else. And again, to note, this build scales with focus. Do not invest into max life percentages. You don't need a chest with max life percent that's blue because it's the only thing that it rolls on. You want a blue helm that rolls max focus. And then the max durability, max healing, if you want that, you can go for that. If you're planning on trying to like parry or on kill or like health on a charge attack or whatever, like that would be another way you could have really good lifesteal for this. Because charge attacks give like, I think 4 to 6%. So realistically, if you wanted to bolster that on top of the lifesteal, then that would be where lifesteal is applicable, because you're actually using your weapon on top of just blocking. So that way, because this was still doing damage, it wasn't like holy shit amazing because all the damage was coming from blocking, but you can still get a decent amount of damage from this. So I hope that this helps you figure out how to face tank everything. You really do not have to get good playing this build. Yes, it takes a little bit of a setup to get truly godly. I would like to see if there's a way you can play this leveling, but as it stands, I think because this ring is so important for block and this is for block, like, yeah, you're probably going to invest that 50 stats of focus into heal or health, right? But the scale would be entirely different because health has a much lower scaling than raw focus does. So because I think focus is like 11 or like 20 points per point for a good minute before it starts hitting kind of a soft cap round out. But even then, I mean, it's still giving a shit ton. So just invest into focus and you will be okay. No life at all. Like, these are your stats. Use them. Use the gear that we have. And at least the necessary things. These make the build work in its entirety. So make sure you pay attention to all of this. Other than that, like other stats that are on here, if you don't care about focus gain, roll it off for something else. You don't want health on parry, roll something else. The only stat on here that is truly necessary is physical damage dealt. The gem I would replace with max focus if you can, because realistically, that's, yeah. I would honestly replace this probably with max focus as well, but I went with the healing gem because it does feel good to get a little bit of extra life whenever you end up getting that kill or doing that parry or whatever it might be. So that should be your this was a little bit longer of a guide to the Titan, but the end part was the explanation. The showcases were at the beginning. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about it, feel free to stop by and chat. Even if I'm not playing No Rest for the Wicked, by all means ask. I love helping. I can direct you to the videos, or if you came from the videos and were trying to ask me questions, God damn it. I appreciate it. But seriously, guys, thank you. Have a lovely morning, day, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you're in the world. I hope this helps you tear through stuff, get your guaranteed Crucible runs in, even if it does slow you down a little bit and you're not running an OP freeze build or anything like that, because this gets the job done. So, y'all take care, be safe, and we'll see you again soon. Be sure to stop by. We're live on Twitch every day, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the video, because it does help the algorithm and it helps me, and y'all are friggin' awesome. So thank you for being here. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.